On the 15th of October 2021, Sir David Amess, the British Conservative Party Member of Parliament for Southend West, died after being stabbed multiple times during a constituency meeting in Leigh-on-Sea. A 25-year-old man, reportedly British Somali, was arrested at the scene on suspicion of murder. Police said that they were investigating the stabbing as a terrorist incident. The incident was the first killing of a sitting British MP since the murder of Joe Cox in June 2016. Sir David Amess was a long-serving politician who entered Parliament in 1983 as the MP for Basildon. He held no senior positions within the party or government, but he was an instantly recognizable member of the Conservative Party and had been knighted for his commitment to public service. He is said to have been socially conservative and held relatively centrist views. He notably opposed abortion and campaigned in favor of Brexit, for stronger animal welfare protections, and to award city status to Southend-on-Sea, following the murder of Jo Cox whilst on her way to meet constituents at a constituency surgery in 2016. Amess said in his 2020 autobiography that fears of similar attacks rather spoilt the great British tradition of the people openly meeting their elected politicians, and that he had faced harassment and insecurity at his home. MPs are protected by armed police when inside Parliament, with security being tightened after the 2017 Westminster attack. However, they are generally not given police protection during surgeries, and they are normally accompanied by one member of staff only. After Cox's murder, parliamentary spending on MPs' personal security rose from under £200,000 to £4.5 million in 2 years. On the 15th of October 2021, 69-year-old Amess was at a constituency surgery at Belfair's Methodist Church on Eastwood Road North, Leigh-on-Sea, where he was scheduled to meet with constituents from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. British Summer Time. He first met with constituents on the steps of the church and entered the building at around 12:05 p.m. to speak with people who had arrived earlier. Inside the church, a man wielding a knife emerged from the group of constituents and stabbed him multiple times. Police were alerted to the attack shortly after it occurred, and armed police, as well as medical and police helicopters, responded to the scene. The suspect was arrested inside the church before being taken away, after which a police cordon was set up. An air ambulance landed on a nearby playing field at 2:13 p.m. to take Amess to hospital. However, the medical team already at the scene decided that Amess's condition was not stable enough to transport him and continued to work at the scene instead. He died just before 3 p.m. Counter-terrorist police officers are involved in the early stages of the investigation. Essex police said a 25-year-old man was quickly arrested after officers arrived at the scene on suspicion of murder, and a knife was recovered. At around 6:32 p.m. on the 15th of October, Essex police announced that the investigation had been handed over to counter-terrorist officers. Later in the day, the BBC reported that a government source said the suspect is a British national who may have Somali heritage. At around 12:30 a.m. on the 16th of October, police declared the stabbing a terrorist incident. The attack had a potential motivation linked to Islamic extremism. According to officers, Prime Minister Boris Johnson returned to Westminster in the wake of the attack, where flags were lowered to half-mast. Various parliamentary groups and current and former politicians from across the political spectrum expressed shock and offered condolences, as did relatives of Jo Cox and international politicians. A vigil for Amess was held in his Southend West constituency at 6 p.m. on the day of his death. The Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, announced that the security of MPs will be reviewed. Conservative MP and Chairman Oliver Dowden announced that, in light of Amess's death, campaigning activities on behalf of the Conservative Party would be suspended nationwide until further notice. First Minister of Scotland Nicola Sturgeon described it as awful beyond words.